Alright, welcome to the last part of me doing this. Okay, you're gonna just jump right into it. Again, doing the aerial ones first just to get them out of the way. So, Call of Cthulhu. Oh, fuck. Combat is like E. Can't really do much. Is utility? It's like a C. C in utility. Okay. Bloodstained Sand? Okay, this is definitely this is arguably the most busted stand. That's a S+ across the board. It's complete time manipulation. Wonderful is, I think it's an A utility for sure, and like a B combat, I think. And then Man on the Moon has an E combat, and like a C utility. No, it's a B utility. It might be a bit generous, but you know. Shut them down. It's gonna be identical last days. So A combat. Well, not identical, but you know what I mean. A combat. What did I put it? Where did I put that for utility? C. Okay. Government. Government's like. I think government is safe to say is an S utility, and like a B combat. That's a weird one. And then coalescence is like an E combat, and like a B utility. Yeah, just like Man on the Moon. Alright, that's all the aerials done, so now we go on to the actual grounded people. I guess let's do, well, we'd be doing Redbone first no matter what. Redbone hasn't been seen in action yet, but from what it sounds like, it would be a D in combat and a B in utility. And then, okay. Open Frenzy. I would assume it's just a more advanced version of Knight of Knights. So, like, C in combat, C in utility. Really not a good stand. Flying Trainwreck. F. Actively bad to have. I think that's reasonable. Fly Me to the Moon. Weirdly situational, but it probably gets a D in combat. And like a D in utility because of how weirdly specific it is. Mashup. I don't know how to rank Mashup. I guess it could technically contain any stand. It's definitely S+ utility. And probably S combat. It's scary. Infomercial Mayhem. Summon power, so it'll rank the same as Lifelight, basically. C in combat. Well, no, less than C in combat. That's too much. D in combat. B in utility. They won't rank the same as Lifelight, but whatever. Ram Ranch. channel RAM into things and out of things. So that's like a C in combat, D in utility. Total interferencia. It's a weird one. I think it's a D in combat. Like, what was this ability now? Okay, yeah. So it has a utility purpose. So it's more of a utility stand than a. That's like a E in combat, just because it could throw him off a bit, and a C in utility. The Mind Electric is probably an E in combat, and like, I'd say it's an A utility. Gary come home? What the fuck am I kidding? This is a D and like an F. Honestly. It's an E, I guess. Decrease your electronic device's oral output. Oh dear. A utility, definitely. I think like C combat. It's a scary one, but not like particularly interesting. Moon theme. F in combat. And B in utility, A in utility, really. It's B in utility, whatever. It's lets you breathe anywhere, but you know, that's a pretty specific thing to do. Lava train. B in combat, I think. A in utility. Alright. Dancing in the moonlight. E in combat. B in utility. That creates a force field. Megalith Agnes Day, you can create planes of all sorts, not just airplanes. Out of like whatever. It's like gas, but which does it with cars. What did I put gas for these things? I put it as a B in combat, so it's really going to be the same stats as gas. Okay, here I go again. Honestly, S tier utility. And like, B tier combat, I think. It's a good stand, but it's heavily luck based. Es un largo camino. Es el amor la señal. That's an SS utility. And like, D in combat. Because it could help in combat, but it won't. Macho Man is I think A in utility, really. It's a good utility. And like, C in combat, because I mean, you can still lift people and stuff, but it's more of a utility stand. I'll only do the pocket watch for this one. Rock Around the Clock is like an A tier utility, really. And like a D tier combat, I'm thinking. Technologic is like probably an A tier utility. C tier combat. I think that's reasonable. It's very similar to Dido. Living on a Prayer. B tier utility probably. And E tier combat, cause oof. It just works. I would say S tier utility, but it's an A tier because it does leave bugs behind. And like for combat, it doesn't really get used for combat, but you could use it for combat, so I'll put it in C. Battle 1 hasn't been seen in use whatsoever. But I give it a B in combat and like an E in utility. Okay, back on the market. We're blazing through these. We're almost done. Back on the market. I'm gonna throw that as an E tier combat and a C tier utility. Same as Total Interferencia for some reason. All right, Knight of Knights. I'm gonna throw this C tier combat, or yeah, C tier combat, and like D tier utility. Open Frenzy is probably somehow more useful. I don't know how, but it probably is. Heart and Soul. Check on what this even does. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's a B in utility, I guess, and like maybe a D in combat. It could have combat purposes, teaming up. Quarter 3 is a question mark, question mark, question mark. Easy peasy. Yanade, or however it's pronounced. Probably like an A combat, A utility type of deal here. Probably a pretty good one. Filthy Mind is just Gary come home better. So it's like a B in combat probably. No, not B in combat. That's stupid. C in combat at best. And like C in utility, I guess. Okay. Moonsetter is an F in combat right off the bat. And it's like a B in utility, I'd say. Ancient Stones. An E in combat, I guess. And like a C in utility, maybe. It's a weird one. It turns back time on the area around. Fire Wiener is question mark, question mark, question mark. We don't know what it does. Other than that, it's the Wienermobile. Skater Boy. Skater Boy as a utility is like a B. It's a B. And as a combat is like it's an E as a combat. No, it's an E as a combat, yeah. Actually, no. It's a C as a combat, honestly, if anything. Because you can, like, zoom around and, like, kick someone with it, maybe. My baloney has a first name is a question mark, question mark, question mark. Plain and simple. Okay, Bad Day. As a combat, I'm gonna throw it in, like, B, I think. think that's a safe place for it. And as a utility, I think it's like a D tier utility. Redacted, aka Secret Agent Man. That's a question mark, I think. And then Stone Sour, we again haven't seen in action. We know what it does, and I guess that could be like a C in combat, D in utility type of deal. E in utility, honestly. It's a weird thing. Actually, D in combat, D in utility, double D, hit it with the double D. Wii menu. It's a C in combat, I think. And like an E in utility. Yes, we can. I think that's an S across the board. It has so much untapped power. So yeah, Captain Beefheart. Interesting. I'm gonna drop it like an E in combat, maybe. It's very similar to the prototype, but not identical. And like a C in utility. Okay. Brain power. It's like an A in combat. If you know it's secret, it's very easy to negate, similar to East Virginia, so that's why it's going there. Utility, it's like a D. You could probably do something with it as a utility, but God. Combat, C. Utility, E. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me. And then the last one, enemy approaching. Utility, B. Combat, E. And that's it. I just did that for no reason. And you just watched it for no reason, so honestly, you're not one to judge.